Hi everyone, Vacha here from Recording Studio 9 and thanks for joining me again today. And in today's video, I'm just going to demonstrate how to use a stereo outboard compressor, in this case my ART Pro VLA 2 tube compressor, in dual channel standalone mode in series. What it means that my audio signal will come into channel 1 and then the output of channel 1 will feed directly into channel 2. And the output of channel 2 goes back into my DAW for vocal processing. This way I utilize the two channels in series to get better compression. Now, though it's not visible on the screen, but I do have the inputs and the outputs of my tube compressor on my Patchbay patched correctly. Of course, if you are not using a Patchbay, you can connect the output of channel 1 with a patch lead directly into the input of channel 2 at the back of the unit. And to demonstrate this, I'm just going to use a project in PreSonus Studio One, and the project of multitrack is from a song Through My Eyes by Jay Menon, and I'm going to apply it on his vocals, and I'm just using Pipeline to pipe through the vocal bus in and out of my audio interface. I'm not going to go into the details how I actually use that. There are videos on YouTube, even on my channel, of how to set it up. It's basically a mono channel going out of my audio interface and into the compressor, and then coming back as input 11 on my audio interface and back into the project. Now, once you have all of the connections done through your compressor, making sure that Pipeline can see it, you can just click the Auto button on Pipeline. This will send a ping signal, an audio signal, into the output and monitor it back again to make sure that we've got everything all correct. And before I do that, I'm also going to disengage the compressor from stereo link mode into dual channel mode as well. So here we go. Yep, I can actually see the signal come through, and we can see the signal in our DAW in Pipeline as well. Of course, if you are using a different DAW, there are different ways of using similar options like Pipeline. You can do that in Pro Tools, you can do it in Cakewalk, you can also do it in Cubase, Logic Pro X, and so on. So you got to find out in your DAW if there is any Pipeline equivalent. Just going to disable that, so we are now ready to go. Now, the whole aim of using the outboard compressor in dual series mode is I want to set my first channel, channel 1, as to capture the loud parts and the peaks and the fast transients, and then my channel 2 would be more like a leveling compressor. Capture peaks and level it up so we get nice and smooth and upfront vocals on our vocal track. Now, to achieve this, I'm going to set my channel 1 with relatively fast attack and as fast as I can have my release, and the ratio will be high as well, most likely much higher than 4, maybe like a 7 or 8 to 1 ratio. And then I'm just going to use the threshold to get somewhere about 4 to 6 dB of gain reduction on my gain reduction meter. And in my second channel, I'm going to have much slower attack and very slow release, so I can get nice smooth transitions between the loud parts and the soft parts of the vocal come through. And as with the ratio, it will be slow as well, so it'll be no more than 1 to 4. I have to play around with it, maybe less than that, and we'll find out as we listen to the vocal.
If you could hold yourself in these arms, if you could breathe you in the dark, if you could look at you from my point of view, you'd understand the magic in my heart. Through my eyes see forever and you, all my dreams and desires.
Okay, that's pretty much what I would start with. I've got my fastest release, about 25 millisecond of attack, and my ratio is just above 4.1, most likely about 6:1 ratio, and I'm getting gain reduction about -4 dB and peaking about -6 dB. And let's move on to the second one.
Alive and come true. In you I see my destiny and the meaning in my life. You'd understand if you could only see yourself through my eyes. If you could feel my heart skip inside when I catch your eye and you smile. If you could feel the way you take my breath away.
Okay, now we can actually see I've got about 30 millisecond, or I probably can even increase that to 40 milliseconds of attack, and my release is probably about 1.5 to 1.5 seconds or thereabout. That sounds really great to me. My ratio is a little bit lower, maybe about 3:1, and I'm getting about -4 dB of gain reduction again. So overall we are reducing about -8 dB of gain reduction, about -6 on the peaks with the first one and about -4 on the second one. Here comes the loud part.
When I watch you softly sleeping late at night, through my eyes I see forever and you, all my dreams and desires, alive and come true. In you I see my destiny and the meaning in my life. You'd understand if you could only see yourself through my eyes.
Okay, now for me that sounds really, really great, nice and smooth. On my monitors I can hear nice and clear, and it's got a little bit of coloration of the tube that I can hear as well. Being tube, of course, and an outboard gear, that's one of the advantages, that's the reasons why I use lots of outboard gear, is to add some of the coloration of the actual unit into my projects, which cannot be duplicated, of course, in plugins. That's my belief for it, and that's what I like, and it's unique for this unit. Okay, we're going to listen again. At the same time, I'm also keeping an eye out for my output and input levels of my pipeline, making sure that they are equal so that there is no volume difference, but we can actually hear the compression. So to be able to notice that, I'm just going to loop between these two loud parts as well, so we can actually hear in and out using with the pipeline. So I'm going to switch it on and off in the pipeline so you'll be able to hear how it's affecting, especially this loud part that we've got here on the vocal. So let's find out.
If you could feel my heart skip inside when I catch your eye and you smile.
So let's turn off the pipeline and let's hear it again.
If you could feel my heart skip inside,
switch it on.
when I catch your eye and just smile. If you could feel the way you take my breath away.
Now I'm going to switch it off. You might notice that the volume did go up because of the makeup gain that I'm actually doing. But the biggest difference you will hear is when I switch on and off with this loud part. So let's have a listen without the outboard compression.
When I watch you softly sleeping late at night, through my eyes I see forever and you.
And let's turn it on and listen to the same part again with the outboard compressor on.
When I watch you softly sleeping late at night, through my eyes I see forever and you.
Now we can actually understand the words, the soft part as well as the loud part, without the loud part being too loud. Now, of course, many will actually say, well, I can do all of this with the compressor plug-in. Sure, but at the same time, as I mentioned, by using an outboard gear, I am using the coloration of this particular unit in my vocals. That cannot be duplicated with a plug-in. I'm adding my tone signature into Jay's vocal.
If you could feel my heart.
Well, I hope this really helps you out. Now you know how you can use an outboard gear in dual channel mode to compress your vocals and have really upfront vocals that the soft parts are also intelligible and the loud parts are not actually overpowering the balance of your mix. And if this video was helpful, make sure you give me the thumbs up. And as always, thanks for watching and have a great time making music. Cheerio, guys.
Alive and come true. In you I see my destiny and the meaning.